Yeah, I'll just go down the line and see what I can say. Now, the gender work, the sort of concrete work with women and gay and lesbians and queers and transsexuals. This is not just international civil society, we all do it. And when I said that gendering is not open to agential probing, I was talking about a distinction that Judith Butler also makes between the agent and the subject. And we've been making this distinction now for some time. And this distinction showed itself when I was talking about what you do and this supplementation business. So the agency is institutionally validated action, and we must train the intending subject to do it and do it well. That is concrete work, as he was describing. That is agency. On the other hand, if agency forgets that there is a subjectship which is constructed, which is not socially constructed so much as I was saying, it's the psychic machinery, political background, parents, you name it. I can't even begin to say all the things that make the outlines of the subject inaccessible to the agent. So therefore, when I said that gendering is not open to agential probing, it's because they are two. It's like you can't tell the time by the theory of relativity. It's not possible. And if you tried, you're making a mistake. So that's what I was meaning. Okay. As for the originary condition of possibility of meaning by something that is not meaningful, this notion, the easiest way to understand this is information theory. So it's the digitization of meaning, the production of it. I mean, so I have said, in fact, at the last MLA that this the programming in computer programming is an empirical representation of the metapsychological, differing, separating the individual, all the digital freedom in the world, and that stuff, the program that produces it. So this is, now from that point of view, I was saying that people have had this, and I mentioned in the talk that I didn't read, neither of you mentioned this, so I'm going to mention it. Saussure was a teacher of Sanskrit linguistics. I'm not a nationalist, but this is to show how far it goes. The 5th century BC linguist, philosopher, maverick, madman, Bhartrihari had a theory of the sphota, which is also like this, that there is Saussure's chapter on linguistic value also puts this forth, but the easiest way to understand it is through information theory. I'm going to go to Switzerland sometime, if I can get some time together, to see what exactly Saussure was reading when he was being, nobody particularly has worked on this, when he was working on his doctorate. But at any rate, so that condition of possibility of meaning does not really, neither relates nor doesn't relate to gendering. They're two different kinds of things. Like, I'm sitting here, we are all talking, we are all thinking, but our bodies are producing urine. So I have to go and come back, right? They're related but not related. Okay, so it's a relationship. I'm sorry to use such a basic example, but it's good heuristically. So it's neither related nor related. I don't think gender is socially constructed. That's another school of feminism. Gender as the instrument of abstraction constructs society. That's what I was, constructs culture. That's what I was trying to say. So the two work together without, if you think of gendering as what kind of stuff are we sitting on, then this is not going to work. It's a very different kind of thing. I can't go any further. I've given myself 10 minutes on this one. So now Glissant's ideas about creolization. I loved Edouard Glissant. I knew him well through Assia Jabbar. but they are too much based in the Otir. And if they come out of I feel this also, I just gave Bhattacharya's example. If we are too located in where we were produced and take that as a model for the whole world, I think we are making a mistake. We have to be contained within that because that's the way human beings are. But that's why all of these global predictions and it coming from examples that are, I fault my friend Partha Chatterjee, who's written an extremely powerful book on nationalism as a derivative discourse. He thinks Bengal is India, we're both from Bengal, and then he thinks India is the world. And so therefore that example of nationalism will work for everyone. I think that's the problem with Glissant's idea and all the other ones who are coming up. Maurice Condé doesn't share that problem. But anyway, so when in fact these creolization ideas, including my own over there, come up into the armchair theorizing, I agree with you. We're all armchair theorizing here and spinning our wheels in thin air. So are you, my boy. But the thing is that when it comes up into that area, then it has lost its power as the insistent and constant creolizing that has taken place within structures of power in the world forever. So to an extent, we are using the word creolizing because we are speaking English, but that phenomenon of the appropriation of the language of the master in order to be able to move, it's something that, yes, we can bring it because it's a nice model, but I don't believe that can be, I am very aware of the limits of what one says, which is why I'm in sympathy with Anthony here. Okay, condition of the inculturation as like insubordination, etc., etc. And it's something that I have written, I think in the 1987 book. I'm not asking you to read it, but I remember having written it. You see, is that if you put parentheses around that im or in or whatever, then that the parenthesis is not just abstract, it is the understanding of that which holds us back, is that with which we can go forward as long as we know that it is a holder-backer also. So I say there that if you put the parenthesis and then say condition of impossibility, then that is the condition of possibility. There is no other condition of possibility. That, however, as an activist for a very long time, and activism not only in the academy but outside, I totally am still within this thing, taking the conditions of impossibility and turning them into conditions of possibility, remembering that the impossibility is still inherent there. So
Derrida would say that the two are the same, of course.
Well, not quite the same, because the parentheses remain, and that marks the person's interest. I have 2 more minutes. I'm looking at the clock. I won't take very much longer. Okay, now, as for love. Now, how can love be brought into... Now, I won't go with any named religion. Because the history of named religions, I should say this, I was born in 42, independence in 47. In 46, I entered school, kindergarten, and then in October schools closed. We, Hindus and Muslims in my part of the world, have lived in conflictual coexistence forever. But what happened then were the so-called Hindu-Muslim riots. I lived at one end of the Syed Amir Ali Avenue. So, as a child, 4 years, cry goes up, Allahu Akbar, and then cry goes up, Jai Kali Kalkatte Wali, and each one is with a machete, someone dies. Real blood on the streets. For a little infant, I don't believe in something that is so easily mobilizable into absolute violence. A child took that in. Okay, so I'm not going with anything like that. On the other hand, the idea of whether my writing is open to that kind of stuff, there is a book which really I'm very humble about this. At Drew University, the theologians actually called a conference saying that my work actually gave rise to what they call planetary love, and there's a book from Fordham University Press called Planetary Loves, where I also have a few words, but it's about how my work might open to spiritual stuff. They were all madly smart, so, I just give you that. Okay, I think I should probably end totally now. the one thing is I like metalepsis. I like Kant's metalepsis of putting the effect of grace with it's a paragon of pure reason, the effect of grace with bloße Vernunft, with mere reason, which is morally lazy, in order to einräumen, make room for this. And so metalepsis for me is not just a bad word. And then I don't think modernization is globalization. I don't think the remainder, what is left out, should not be something that we worry about when we translate. I just told the Polish translators, just because supposedly there is no A in Polish, which I don't know that there isn't, but that's what they said to me. That doesn't mean you simply call it anything, because I called it a critique of postcolonial reason, because and they're about to translate it, they'll have to think of something. So, it's just, they'll have to think of something. Language moves. I mean, we know that. We who are not in the better languages, okay. Now, I don't think I'm going to say anything more except general sense and narrow sense. General sense and narrow sense. The general sense of translation, which is like, being born, growing up, etc., it should be clearly distinguished from the narrow senses of translation, which one cannot be an alibi for the other. Mm-hmm. It's like the agency and subject separateness, okay? We cannot bring that general sense of translatability as such into an alibi for what we are doing, sitting and translating. That's it. And Melanie Klein, the Melanie Klein, in fact, also writes in such a way that birth is death. Mm-hmm. So she does talk about the intrauterine. I don't have it there. She doesn't talk about it in a way that will give support to people who don't want legalized abortion. So to an extent, this birth as death stuff in Melanie Klein, which is also Simone de Beauvoir describing motherhood as a situation. While you gestate, you are in species life. You are an example of, you cannot love this child. But when you have given birth, you're in species being, child rearing, so that the child can be in excess of the mother is a different project. So to an extent, if one really wants Melanie Klein, it's not just that paragraph that I have kind of summarized. She is very aware of the intrauterine to the extent that she asks us to understand birth itself as a coming into death, and then the part objects and so on. She's a very complicated woman. So therefore, I think I stop here. There were many, many other questions, and I'm very grateful that so many questions were provoked by my incomprehensible mutterings, but I don't think I should go any further. Thank you very much both.